I'm Justin McRoberts, and you are listening to the Title Pending audio series, a collection of readings focused on moments in my own creative history that I hope shed an inspired light on yours. Chapter 2, Make Bad Art. Tennis star Andre Agassi initially learned to play the game from his dad. Legend has it that during those early lessons, Emmanuel Agassi, who had been an Olympic athlete himself, encouraged the young Andre to worry less about the accuracy of his strokes and instead hit the ball as hard as he could. Someday, he told his son, the ball would land in bounds, and eventually it did. Often. My first few attempts to peak Mount Diablo could be seen as terrible failures. In 3 initial attempts, I turned around exhausted. On another, I found myself lost and retreated down the mountain so that I wouldn't get stuck in the dark. But I learned to pace myself. I learned to carry less. I got better shoes. I started paying attention to the weather. It's not always in spite of your failures that you will grow as an artist, but in many cases, it is because of them. You have to make bad art in order to make better art. Here is something true. Many of your efforts, especially early on, will miss. Don't let that keep you from putting everything you have into your work. Don't be surprised if you're making bad art. Don't be discouraged. And whatever you do, don't stop. Keep making bad art. Not because you're wrong about your self-evaluation. You might be producing some really awful stuff. But just because the thing you're working on is a ripe mess doesn't necessarily mean it's time to stop working. On the contrary, that may be the worst time and worst reason to quit. I think you need to make bad art in order to make anything better. I know that's been the case for me. The idea that I needed to make bad art initially struck me while watching a pretty good play. The piece, written by a local playwright, was about playwriting. The turning point in the play was a conversation between a young playwright, the story's protagonist, and another, older, writer. The dialogue goes something like this. The young playwright. I just feel like everything I write is crap. Old playwright. Probably is. You're still too young to write great dialogue. Young playwright. So what am I supposed to do? Old playwright. Keep writing. Young playwright. But you just agreed that it's probably crap. Old playwright. Yes, but it is out of the manure that the flowers grow. You have to make mistakes in order to grow. Fall down, get up, take a breath, look around, take a step, be patient, keep at it. If you let your failures kill your process, you'll never get past them and you'll never learn from them. You'll also never get to see that, even if something you've made is bad overall, you probably did a few things right along the way too. Another way to think about your need to make bad art is to consider it like a cleansing. When you purchase a new refrigerator freezer unit, you're supposed to throw out the first batch of ice from the ice maker. It's a bad batch, but you have to make it in order to get to the cleaner, better ice. Your creative plumbing likely has some blockage and rust from years of non-use or misuse. Sometimes it's residue from bad art we've taken in. But there are probably good ideas mixed up with the bad, and the only way to get them out is to get them all out. I can only really evaluate my work once I have some distance from it. See, it's good to be inspired by the vision of yourself as a great artist. Go ahead, dream, but it can also make you feel like quitting because you aren't, quote, there yet. Don't quit. Put your head down and pay attention to the work right in front of you. Work that, especially at the outset, might really miss. But your efforts will never land in bounds if you stop swinging altogether. You never peak the mountain if you quit after your first or second or third or fourth failed attempt. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Title Pending audio series. If you've enjoyed listening and you'd like to take another step or two in the direction of your own creative process, navigate your way to yourcreativeprocess.info. And there you'll find an online course I've designed for you.